and I'm sure you would have been great.
I'll just do that too, because I don't want to feel that.
Like this is coming from people from all of us who are like took IB in a different country. So if we all say the same thing, it means
yeah, if we're all on the
real
same page, then it's true.
Yeah, I think it was really good.
I had made a video before about IB program and stuff like that, you know, kind of if I thought it was worth it or not. So I was thinking, since I found two like-minded individuals who also had experiences with IB and graduated this year to the same May 2016 exams, that we will kind of compare or just kind of talk about our experiences and maybe give you guys a better idea of what it's like.
So I'm from Korea. My dad, he moved his job to France. It's an international organization called ITER. It's the art reactor, like nuclear fusion art reactor, which is the same thing as Iron Man. France International High School called IBS of Provence, which is International Bilingual School of Provence. And I liked it. I did IB program, not IB.
Certificate.
Yes.
Oh, certificate. Yeah.
So I took only 3 subjects of IB course, which was English, French, and math. Yes, I took math. And
I was originally from Hong Kong, but then I moved out of Hong Kong when I was 7 to the Philippines. And so I went to Cebu International School, so Cebu, Philippines. And I started school there, and I finished my IB in that school as well.
You guys all know where I was. So I was at the American International School of Kingston in Jamaica, and did my IB there.
I guess we all have like some classes in common, right?
Yeah, like the ones that we have to take, the English.
Yeah.
Right.
One thing I also noticed is that we had a lot of like activities that didn't really necessarily need to be done.
Okay.
It was, there was so many requirements that we had, and I guess those activities were used to prep that. But then there were some that I didn't think were necessary at all.
Can you give me an example?
So for example, like we had like our 𝕙𝕖𝕣𝕖s and stuff like that. We had the practicals, right? So I'm sure like everybody had to do it.
The experiments.
Yeah,
like, that
but
we had
then
to do?
our teacher wasn't that sure about like how we were supposed to do it, so we did everything but we were only supposed to have 2, and so we didn't necessarily need to spend all our time on that, but we could have been doing other like IAs or like our extended essays or TK computation. So
in our bio class, we did all of them too. But the thing was that you can do online labs, so we did most of them as online labs, where you just click the button and like pretend like you're doing the lab instead of actually doing the lab. What happens is in the exam, a lot of the labs come out as questions and scenarios, so it's a lot more comfortable if you know them. But it's true, it's a very time consuming if you were to do all of them. I think we only did 3 or 4 of them in real real hands-on. Like we dissected the heart.
In case of France, like French people, they hate speaking English. So, when I was in my school, like half of the school population was French and the other half was international. There were both French section and IB section.
Was there an option to take your IB in full French instead of?
No, that would be French baccalaureate.
Yeah, that's right.
For me, the toughest part was the teacher's handwriting.
oh yeah.
Because I've never been in international school before, so I'm very used to Korean handwriting and accents as well. Like, people have different accents. I couldn't really distinguish.
That's another thing that maybe like area could change. But like for us, senior year is party year generally in Jamaica and in the United States as well. I heard because they barely have any more classes. We've done all of our credits now, so it's just kind of like an easy ride, and all I have to focus on is apply for university, as well as in the regular Jamaican system, which is the British system. It's the last year of sixth form, which means you technically actually already graduated high school, and you're in like the pre-high school. It's 2 years called sixth form before you go to university. So either way, everyone is partying and drinking and running up and down, and they're having fun, and it's all over the internet, and we're here like we're gonna die.
Yeah,
so For me, my experience, I felt like if I didn't have the exact set of teachers that I had, that I would have failed IB. Like I felt like there was this really serious support system that came with helping to pass the IB. My teachers would stay after school with me hours after the bell, and you know, maybe I had like this one mistake in a sea of like thousands of papers, and they'd just be like, ugh. They find me on the weekends, slap it on my desk, and be like, do it now before I cry. I felt like one of the things that I really stressed in the video that I had done before was that I can't say that your IB experience would be exactly like mine, because I definitely loved it. But if I didn't have that support system, I feel like I would have been lost. What about you guys? What was your experience like that?
This might happen to a lot of people as well, but your teachers might switch out in the 2 years, like the course of 2 years that you take IB. And so, like, if you get so used to the way one teacher like teaches their methods and everything, you get really thrown off by like the new like style. And so I guess that was one of the difficulties I had, especially because I had my teachers from Spanish, biology, they switched, and so like even though we all have the same syllabus, the way the teacher teaches it is so important, because that's just what you're focusing on. That's how you learn it, and that's how you're gonna apply it to your exams at the end. I can't like specify how important that is, like to study, because you just can't do it by yourself.
That's so true, because with other schools, like when you just get a teacher that switches, it's not that bad. Content in and of itself,
It's the same.
it's the same, so it feels comfortable. Like I can just look at it, and even if the teacher changes, even if the teacher isn't the greatest teacher, I can still study by myself and get a good grade. IB is not like that. It's just not like that. Just like if you think, oh, I'm so smart, I'm fine, it doesn't matter who it. No, it's not true. Don't kid yourself. Really, like the truth is that you definitely need someone to guide you, because you also can't do it all. Like as a student, you have to be able to focus on what you want to do, and if you don't have a teacher who can guide you through that process, you're most likely going to fail, especially because the exam is very specific as well. It's trying to see how well you can apply yourself, not how well you can memorize, not how well you can soak up information in a textbook. It's how well you can apply yourself. So us not knowing the exam, we wouldn't be able to do it without someone who is well versed in the material.
I miss my TOK teacher.
Not like
Really good.
I loved my TOK teacher. He's gonna see
so
this
lucky.
now. He's gonna see this because I'm gonna send it to my history teacher, and then my history teacher is gonna send it to my TOK teacher, because this part is gonna come out of it, because loved my TOK teacher. I'm talking to you, Begstead. We in this.
Shout out to my psych teacher though, because without her, wouldn't have been
Throw in
done.
a shout out. Go ahead.
Well, yeah. Mr. 𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚 and Miss Pets.
Okay.
You guys were amazing.
My psychology teacher was she's doubled as a Spanish teacher too, so it's like kind of cool. She didn't teach IB Spanish, but she just taught Spanish. So Miss Sablana, thank you.
For us, it's like the hardest time, you know? We're graduating high school, we don't know where we're going. It's a really confusing time for us, and then without those teachers, it's kind of hard to say that understanding, you know? If all my teachers were just like, oh, no work, oh, late, sorry if you failed, they didn't talk to me, I think I probably would have dropped out within the first week.
But your teachers become your best friend, honestly. Like it's like a family after in the end, because there's nothing you can do. You have to like be close. Like I remember the first meeting, we started off, and then this is right as we started IB, and all our teachers was like, you know, you had us like last year, but this is IB, right? So like we're gonna exchange numbers now, you know.
Yeah, it's different.
When you're like crying in the middle of the night because you know this is tough, just call me.
Yeah. I mean, I had a few teachers that were really like, you know, really supportive of us, like almost like girlfriends. My history teacher and my English teacher, you could tell them anything.
IB itself is already really, really tough, but like Korean education is torture.
It's not like difficulty as far as mental depth. It's difficulty as far as I'm giving you 20,000 things to finish tonight that make no sense to your future at all.
But
just
you just have to
finish
do it.
Yeah. You have to think. IB education, you have to think. Korean education, you have to memorize the whole textbook.
Right. It's
just stuffing in, not thinking. It's like your machine.
It's like all of this time that you have to force yourself through that doesn't even have like a direct outcome that you can see. Like that's another thing that I survived on in IB. Like every time I felt like I really don't want to do this anymore. I'm gonna shut myself in my room and just die. I was like, but to be honest, everything that the IB stands for, you know, the stuff that I'm learning in my classes, I do think it's necessary for people to start to think about. And when I would see, like, okay, if I finish this, then I'll be able to do this, and I can use this towards this. And when I would think about the end goals, it would help me, like, motivate me. But in Korea, there's nothing like that. So
yeah, it's hell.
But it's like, that's true, like IB in itself is so like, you have the freedom to do so many things that you want, and the fact that you don't, like, there's no specific, like, everybody has to take the exact same subjects, you have the choice to pick what you want and the level that you want it to be in.
If you want to be good at something, you have to put a lot of effort, and if you want to put a lot of effort, you have to like it. Because if you don't like it, then you can't really put your genuine effort, and it's gonna be tough. Me, I knew what I wanted to do, so I could throw what I didn't want away without a doubt at all.
that's kind of what the IB is about in the first place.
It is.
You know, certificate is the IB. You don't have to say I dropped. Certificate is the IB. But it's just another option.
Yeah, that's so nice. So yeah, I love IB. I don't like diploma. But
The IB itself, because you can get credits for like the other subjects.
I mean, 40s, I mean, you can, but the thing is that, I mean, I don't think it's, like, impossible to get 40s. I know lots of people who got 40s. But the thing is that if you decide to choose keeping all of your activities that you were doing before and do IB, most likely you're not getting a 40.
Yeah.
Like, in my opinion, I don't think you're going to get a 40. If you still go out and do all your extra activities and get a full night's sleep, you're not getting a 40. You're just not, because there's just not enough time in the day. So it's like, choose what's more important to you. Like, for me, my resume was more important. So I had, like, all sorts of activities and all sorts of things. Like, if you look at my resume, you might cry because it's so amazing. But
it wasn't in the camera.
Someone gets 43 but didn't do any side activities, it's not as good as somebody gets like a little bit lower but did so many things on the side.
Yeah, so I mean, it's up to you what's important to you. Like, if you, for instance, if you don't really have like a strong passion and you don't really like do a whole bunch of things after school originally, like maybe you did one or two things but you were just going to go, you know, you weren't enjoying it that much, then hey, by all means, put that passion, that energy that you could be putting in after school into the IB and get that 43, get that 45, right? But if you're doing stuff that's going to count to your life, if you're doing stuff that you really think is important to you, that you have a story to tell, do it. Don't fuck the IB.
But don't be too stressed out about your grades. Before the IB exam, I went to pool until midnight. And then I still got 6 in English BHLs.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like a lot of people were just like really panicking right before exams, but you know, at the same time you're so prepared already.
So unless you know that it's just like specific, like this section I need to know XYZ, and that doesn't come along a lot. So maybe you have like 3 or 4 things to cram, but there's nothing much you can do. So pretty much like the 3 days before the exam, you can stop studying, right? Like, you need to just, you know, pace it. I'm not saying not to study. I'm not saying not to study.
I have different view on that. That's what my mother did. Study.
Just study.
I guess the moral of the story is IB is hard, but you can do it if you want to. But don't push something that is not natural to you. Do what you love, do what you like. Use IB as an outlet for what you already love to do, right? Don't just do it because it looks smart. Because it's too taxing for that.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it. It's really not worth it. If you don't love it, it's not worth it. So
people are just like, how hard could it possibly be?
Trust me,
like,
it's hard. It's hard. It's
not
just,
easy.
Just believe me, and make really good relationships with your teachers. Don't piss off your teachers for no reason because it's not worth it either. Don't do it. I have a lot of friends who just did it and they're like, oh, it doesn't matter. It matters. It matters.
You need to be on the best side. Like, you need to be on everybody's good side.
Yeah.
But like, this is coming from people like from like all of us who are like took IB in a different country. So if we're all saying the same thing, it means
if we're all on the
real
same page, then it's true. So that's about it for today. I hope you enjoyed our conversation and you learned something, or you just maybe made a better decision about doing IB. I know I got a whole bunch of emails the other day about decisions of people who were like, I'm thinking of going to the IB, but I don't know, I'm kind of scared. So I hope this helped a little bit. I just happened to get a chance to make this video aligned with your questions, so God loves you. If you enjoyed this video, if this video was helpful at all, please give me a thumbs up. And if you are new here, I make video about lifestyle, advice and culture, language, all of that kind of stuff. Videos every Wednesday and Friday. Just press the red button down below and you can see more. So, bye!
Why don't you take me?
Huh?
Why don't you take me?
I am. I'm taking videos of you instead. Here's navigation.
Woo!
似てない
Oh my gosh, why so loud?
Because I'm Jamaican. I can't help it. Oh, I remember when some Asian guys came to Jamaica, like,